Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is March 2nd, 2025, and today we're going to be discussing the reactions to Barcelona's victory against Real Sociedad, including what Hansi Flick thought of the match, and more importantly, Real Sociedad's coach Imonol Alguacil, who has discussed the red card that his team received. Finally, we are going to talk about Raphinha's contract renewal and what Barcelona have in plan. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin this video with the great news that today Barcelona defeated Real Sociedad 4-0 at home with goals of Gerard Martin, Marc Casado, Ronald Araujo, and Robert Lewandowski. And with this victory, Barcelona are now sitting at the top of La Liga table, 1 point ahead of Atletico Madrid and 3 points ahead of Real Madrid. In what was a great result, not only because we got this victory and pulled ahead of Real Madrid, but because the team were able to do this while rotating players. And this is important because we do have the Champions League match on Wednesday against Benfica. So Barcelona will be able to arrive to that match with fresh legs. So definitely a great Sunday and a great result by Barcelona. And of course, I did do the post-match live analysis. So if you do want to hear my thoughts, my opinions of the match between Barcelona and Real Madrid, make sure to check out the video on the channel. Now, Hansi Flick did participate in that post-match press conference as he usually does, and this is what the German coach had to say about today's result. The red card has changed the game a lot. They are a good team, but I think we put pressure on them and we deserve the result. Even if they were with 10, it is important not to concede chances. We have spoken about that during the week after the game against Atletico. Perhaps with a little more discipline, we could have scored a few more goals, but it was not to be. I'm happy for Casado and Gerard Martin, who scored their first goal. So perhaps with a little more discipline, we could have scored a few more goals. So Hansi Flick, despite the team playing great, despite winning, despite thrashing 4-0, he is still looking for opportunities to learn and to improve. And this is what separates elite coaches from the rest. Elite coaches always want to learn, not just when they lose, not just when they draw, but also when they win. They constantly want to improve. They constantly want to learn. They constantly want to grow. And this is the kind of mentality that you need to have a winning team, a team that can compete for all championships, as opposed to other coaches like Xabi, who used to tell us that we did great even when the team would lose, or like other coaches who only look to improve when they lose. For example, Real Madrid, right? They've been playing like absolute dog shit all season, but because they have great players like Bellingham, Vini, Rodrigo, Mbappe, etc., they were winning matches with little flashes of individual brilliance here and there. So finally, when they met a great team like Barcelona and they got exposed 4-0, all of a sudden they were scratching their head like, oh, what happened? How is it that we lost by such a big margin? Well, had you been paying attention, even when you were winning, you would have realized that you were playing like absolute dog shit, and you would have looked to improve it rather than just celebrate the wins. And then when you get exposed, you're like, oh, I don't know what happened. We do know what happened. You've been playing like absolute dog shit, but that's not the case with Flick. Flick wanting to learn, to improve, to grow, regardless of the result. And I have to say, it's so refreshing to have a coach with such winning mentality. Now, speaking of winning mentality, Hansi Flick did address what his goals are for the team for this season, and this is what the German coach had to say. The objective has to be the next game. We are going to fight for the 3 titles, and at first nobody expected it. That's what we want, to fight for the 3 titles. So great words by Flick, who wants to compete, wants to fight for the Champions League, La Liga, and the Copa del Rey. Oh, Flick, please stop. Don't do this to me. Don't make me dream. Don't make me dream of winning the treble. Of course, as I always say, let's take it easy. Let's take it one match at a time. This is a new coach, a new project, let's not start celebrating trophies that we haven't won. But it's nice to see that we have a coach with a mentality who's willing to fight for every single trophy, and hopefully we'll be able to win every single trophy. Now, from Hansi Flick, we move on to Imonol Alguacil, the Real Sociedad coach, who was asked, of course, about the red card that his team received at the 16th minute. And this is what the Real Sociedad coach had to say. These are situations that we practice, so it's completely avoidable. The red card is just. Remember this sentence because we're going to talk about it in a little bit. The red card is just. That's when the match fell apart completely. We started out well, 11 versus 11. 11 versus 11 is already complicated. With one less, it's even more complicated. So Alguacil saying that the red card was totally just. And of course, if you do look at the images, I mean, it's a clearly just card. Here you see Dani Olmo was pretty much taken off, was going to be head-to-head with the goalkeeper. And there's the Real Sociedad defender, the last man standing, taking him down. So per the rules, it's a clear red. And the reason I bring this up is because Madridistas, or a section of Madridistas on social media, are already crying. Oh, Negreira, the referees, they're corrupt. They want to hand La Liga to Barcelona. Barcelona robbed Real Sociedad. And it's like, man, if there was an award for the biggest crybaby club, Real Madrid would win it by far. And maybe we should. We should include that award in the Ballon d'Or ceremony. You know, they give an award for the best male player, best female player, best young player, best coach, best club. Maybe they should create a new version or a new trophy for the biggest crybaby club, because Real Madrid would win that easily. In fact, they would probably take the whole podium. They would end up first, second, and third, with fourth place being very, very far apart, because that has been pretty much Real Madrid all season. Instead of realizing that they're playing like dog shit, and instead of admitting to that and finding a way to stop playing like dog shit and improve, no, they just prefer to cry, blame the referees, and blame everyone else. And I guess that's good for us, because as long as Real Madrid are crying and not trying to fix how they play, they're going to continue playing like dog shit. So, hey, I'm all for it. And by the way, to be fair to Real Madrid, because I have people all the time coming on this channel accusing me, Mo, you're not being biased. You're being biased. So I guess to be impartial and be fair to Real Madrid, there was a big section of Barcelona fans, or Barcelona camp, that were also doing this last season, starting with Xavi Hernandez, who used to always find excuses for his losses, including the referees, and ending with the Xavi apologist, who would buy into the narrative and repeat it. So to be fair to Real Madrid, Barcelona did this last season too. So if you're one of those people who are watching Real Madrid right now and thinking about how ridiculous they look, well, this is exactly how you looked last season. But anyways, let's end with the statement of Gerard Martin, because Gerard Martin had a pretty funny statement that he made towards the end. But of course, Gerard Martin scored his first goal as a Barcelona player in First Division. And this is what the player had to say. I couldn't believe I had scored and kissed the logo. That's what we did. Mark and I hadn't scored for years. There were some jokes in the dressing room. Iñaki Peña told me that if I scored today, he would shave his head, but he won't. So let's see if Iñaki Peña lives up to his promise, if he does shave his head or not, because, hey, promise is a promise, right? Gerard Martin scored. So Iñaki, all eyes on you to see whether you follow through with your promise. All right, let's end this video by discussing Coutinho, who today was not Coutinho, was Raphinha, but that's okay. He's going through a little slump. Hopefully he can recover his form against Benfica. But the news is that negotiations have begun with Coutinho to renew his contract. As you know, Barcelona are currently working on renewing the contract of their players. They already renewed Pedri, Gavi, Cubarsí, and the next are going to be Lewandowski and Iñigo Martinez, whose everything is agreed to, so it's just a matter of making it official. And after that, the next wave is Raphinha and Jules Koundé, whose contracts expire in 2027. And it's reported that Barcelona have already started negotiations with the Brazilian players' entourage or camp or representatives, whatever you want to call it, to extend the contract of Raphinha past its expiration of 2027. Of course, Raphinha wants to stay in Barcelona, so this is not going to be a problem. It's just a matter of agreeing on the numbers, because Raphinha wants to stay in Barcelona. And of course, Barcelona want to protect the player from potential Saudi interests. We know Saudi, tried to sign the player last summer. They tried in the winter. and Barcelona think they're going to be coming with even a bigger offer in the summer, so trying to protect the player from that interest. Not that I don't think we have to worry about that because Raphinha wants to stay in Barcelona and he's not looking to go to Saudi, but you never know because those Saudis, man, they have money. They have money. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. Again, I did do the post-match live analysis. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.